Hello. Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. Welcome to 1 Million Cups Brunswick. My name is Skip Mounts. I'm the Dean of the School of Business at the college. If you could find a seat and get coffee, that'd be great. 1 Million Cups is an educational program developed by the Kauffman Foundation of Kansas City. Its purpose is to engage, encourage, and support entrepreneurs and help create an entrepreneurial network and a community of mentors. We will have two entrepreneurs today make brief presentations about their firms, the challenges that they face, lessons that they have learned, and problems that they may be having. This will be followed by y'all asking questions. Our goal is very simple: to have creative people talk to other creative people in hopes that this conversation encourages others to follow their own creativity so as to enhance the diversity and vibrancy of our community. Last time I mentioned, when we began 8 months ago, there were 78 cities that were doing the exact same thing. All of those were on weekly presentation structures. We were the first city at the Kauffman Foundation to be given a monthly version. Right now there are 105 other cities that are doing the exact same thing at the exact same time. And from what I understand, probably by mid-year there will be about 150. I just learned yesterday Boston finally is getting one. You would think they would have had one, but now that they're finally catching up to us, I think that's good. I think that's good. I'd like to thank our sponsors. Again, Susan Bates of Tipsy, McSway's. We are now in full holiday blossom here with all the lights. I think this adds a great deal. We are at a holiday bar. I think this just adds much to what we do. I'd like to thank Rick Townsend of the Golden Isles Career Academy and his student Brian, who is going to have a public service video for FEMA on ION television over the next month. So we are in the presence of a film rock star here. This is amazing. All of our videos on our website of presenters have been done by Brian and Rick, and I just think that's great that we've been able to make that connection in our city. I'd also like to thank Bowman for Wake Up Coffee. Just a warning, the gold cap is decaf. A couple of you undid the decaf, and I told you, so I put a warning on there. So this is it. Again, we're always trying to find ways to get the word out, so if you would like, follow, friend us on our various social media websites that are on one of the slides. Also, if you're not getting messages from us and would like to get things, if you would put your address on the pad in the back or leave your business card in the jar in the back. If you're already getting stuff from us, we really don't need to know your email address unless you'd like to update it. As I mentioned, the Kauffman Foundation has an app now for your smartphones. It would be good. It would be neat if you would all look at that to see if you want to download that, because you can then register as we do this event and we can get a better count of who's here. Also, we're trying to learn about the backgrounds you all bring, and that'll help us do things as we learn who is coming. Do we have new folks today? Anyone new? Good. Hey, good. Glad you're here. Kathy, are you new? There you go.
I was here one other time.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't want to. I mean, it was like a student I had never seen before in his final exams. You know, who are you? Oh, I'm here. So, okay, good. So today we'll have a presentation, and then we'll have a break. During the break, please refresh your coffee, converse, do what you do. You know, that'd be great. So thank you all. Our first presenter is Jennifer Zamudio of DOT and Army. So.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Zamudio. I am the owner of the company DOT and Army. Just a little background on us. I'm originally from California, and I've always been an entrepreneur since a little child. I would have lemonade stands, or my dad actually built me one out of PVC pipes. We would make popsicles. We were very serious about it. We'd make little mini cupcakes, anything to make a couple extra dollars on the weekend. And I've always had the support of my folks. In junior high, I wanted to go on a trip to Japan. The school was offering this. My parents said, if you earn half, which at the time the trip was $800, if I raised $400, they would help me out. So I started a weed pulling business, and I made flyers, and I sent them to all the neighbors, and I would pull their weeds for $2 an hour. And I would collect cans and newspapers and recycle and save the money from that. And I earned enough and went to Japan when I was 14 years old. In high school, I would make chocolate chip cookies and sell them to my classmates on break just to get a couple extra dollars. Then I started making backpacks, and I would sell them to local consignment shops. I've always just been a worker, and when I started making the backpacks, I realized I really loved to create as well. In college, I was an art major, and I started a company where I'd make little girl dresses out of vintage tablecloths, and I would sell them to boutiques in LA and Santa Barbara, and that was amazing. And that was an amazing experience in realizing that I could actually do something I dream about and support myself. But it was also a little bit scary, so I became a teacher. But teachers don't make very much money, so I would still make the dresses on the side. When I started a family, we decided as a group to stop using paper towels, and we would only use cloth napkins at home. So I started making our own cloth napkins, and people started to want their own, so I would sell them at farmers markets on the weekend, and it took off. And when we moved to Georgia about 4 years ago, I had an opportunity to not go back into teaching after teaching for about 12 years and pursue the cloth napkin business, which sounds crazy, because who knew cloth napkins would be able to sustain my family? But it has skyrocketed, and it's crazy how many people want cloth napkins. But we sell them to restaurants, we wholesale. We're mainly an internet business. We do them for weddings, we rent them for special events. We also design fabric products for other companies. We will pretty much in the beginning, we would just say yes to anything that people would ask. If they wanted napkins out of camouflage fabric, if they wanted tie-dye napkins, if they want napkins with their name on it or a funny saying, we would just do it. We're always open to new ideas. We create aprons for companies. We work for a company called Food 52, and we designed reusable sandwich wraps for them that are made out of fabric and lined with a water-resistant fabric, so you can just stick your sandwich in it instead of a Ziploc bag. We've probably sold over 500 of those. We make unpaper towels. We've probably sold over 2,000 units of those. So it's not just for families that want to be green or eco-friendly. It's just families that are, we've noticed our customers really want to know where their products are made. They want to know that they're supporting a small business, and that's a really big push right now for a lot of companies, and we're glad to be a part of that. We just recently moved to downtown Brunswick, and we have our workshop in the back. And it's this really great little space, has beautiful ceilings, really neat storefront window. We thought, let's open up a store as well. And throughout the years of living here, we've been able to make really great relationships with other small businesses that make beautiful pieces of pottery and ceramics, candles, wood products, preserves, all kinds of soaps. And so we're bringing them into our shop to support one another. And I feel like I'm just like talking really fast, sorry. But really why I wanted to come here is what I was really realizing is having a shop is really, it's really fun to have the locals come in, and how important social media is for that. And we always try to tag, like if we show a photo of our napkins and maybe Elizabeth Halderson's mug, we like to tag her because we know it's all going to circle around. She's going to repost, you know, someone else will repost. It will bring them to Elizabeth's site. It brings them to our site. We've had a lot of customers who come in, they're from Tennessee or Texas or New York, and they're visiting, and they follow us on Instagram, and they see where our shop is, and they get really excited to come in, or they've seen, you know, that we have a Grace Graffiti cutting board, and just how powerful social media is, and that when somebody, just like my mom or a friend or somebody that I don't even know reposts one of our images, how important that is for a small business, because then someone might repost it again and all of a sudden it has 1,000 views. And I just wanted to reach out and let you know that when you do share a small business's post or video, how much we appreciate that, and it has a lot of power. And I always tell people it's free. Like Facebook is free and Instagram is free. It's free advertisement. And so we really are trying to utilize that as much as we can. And the more people comment, or I comment on theirs, and it builds a community of all these small businesses, and it makes us feel really good. And Sarah from Hanover Press, she spoke last month or the month before, but on Shop Small Saturday, she was so great. I saw her walk past. She came into our shop and made some purchases, and then continued on Newcastle. And I think she went to Pam Pam's and Antiques, Etc., and the market on Newcastle, and the women's consignment shop, and probably stopped at Tipsy's and had a drink, and, you know. And by the end of the day, she was just loaded up with bags, and she did all of her Christmas shopping, a good chunk of it, all on Newcastle. It was so great. And then she took it to the next level, because then she posted on Instagram all these darling little purchases she made, a little brooch, and, you know, a chocolate bar she bought in our shop, and she would tag all the businesses that she visited, and that was really awesome. And when customers do that, even if it's not about us, but it's about Tipsy's or the market on Newcastle or Grace Graffiti or any small business in the area, it feels so good, because the more people we can get to come down here, the better. And it just takes a couple, you know, one post on Instagram, it was probably pretty fast, and it just makes you feel good. Like, oh, somebody appreciates what you're doing, and they appreciate this area, because there are so many interesting businesses around here, and creative companies, and artists, and makers, and it's fun to be a part of it. So just remember, when you see another business, reshare, repost, it's so valuable for all of us. And I think that's really what I wanted to say today. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Questions? As I posted on Facebook yesterday, this event,
Yes.
and she liked it, I felt like I was in the modern era. I think that was really cool, because there's a lot of truth to this. It is free.
Yes.
But it's what everybody is connected to. That's a wonderful story. It really is.
Thank you.
Would we like to have any questions, please? You have to ask questions.
Sounds like everything's going wonderfully. What are your biggest problems?
Okay. I mean, it's going great, but owning a small business is very stressful and a lot of work. One of our problems is keeping enough for, there's two. As a Dot and Army business, the cloth napkin side, it's keeping enough fabric in our shop, investing in enough fabric so that when a company calls us and says they want 400 napkins shipped out on Friday, I have the fabric to do that, because if not, then they'll just go to the next company. So I have to have the money to invest in that and take a chance on having those maybe 800 yards of white fabric and hoping companies are going to want it. And a challenge we face for the storefront is, just like any company, is just getting people to come in. But I see it growing. It just keeps spreading the word, and also finding other companies that I forgot to mention. Our store, everything we sell is made in Georgia. So it's really fun to discover other companies and bring them in. It's also sometimes hard, though, finding companies that their minimums are low enough. I can't buy $1,000 worth of pickles. I can buy maybe $200 worth. So sometimes companies, their minimums are so high I can't.
So, do you need an investor?
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I'm wondering what brought you to Brunswick?
All right. So I have two sisters and a brother. I'm the oldest. But one of my sisters met a man from Georgia, and she moved out here. And then she had 4 kids. And down the road, my parents moved out here with my other siblings, and we were living in San Diego, and San Diego's amazing, but it's also very, 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 very expensive. And we decided to take a chance and move out here. We still wanted to be near the ocean, and we wanted to live in a neighborhood where our kids could ride their bikes. And where we lived in San Diego, it was a very dangerous neighborhood we moved into. So my family brought me here.
Are you aware of the program that American Express has right now for shopping local?
Yes, I brought all these pens, the Shop Small pens. I signed up with them as the community manager, so they sent me 100 bags, 100 ink pens. So I've been handing them out to other businesses, doormats. They're wonderful. So if you're a small business, sign up with them. I think in the beginning of November, they send you a lot of stuff for free. Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm curious about your name. What does it mean, or how did you
Okay,
develop
thank
it?
you. I was going to bring that in. Dot and Darmy are my grandparents' names, Dorothy and Armand. And when they were little children, they were always called Dot and Army. And she taught my mom how to sew. My mom taught me how to sew. Family dinners were and are very important. So when we decided to do cloth napkins, it just made sense to name it after them. And they actually flew into town last night, so they're here right now.
Good, good. Can we
Yeah.
see their, are they here?
They are in Utah.
Okay.
But
good.
they flew in, yeah.
Good. Is there another question? Rick, I think you had one. Okay, good.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Great presentation.
Oh, thanks.
My question is kind of surrounds the decision of you going from a probably pretty profitable internet-based company, maybe some farmers markets and internet,
Mm-hmm.
to the jump to a brick and mortar with all the expenses and really chained to the store when it's open, retail hours, everything else. I mean, what made you think about that decision, and what do you think about that decision now?
Yes. we aren't really following all the rules with a brick and mortar, I think, because I still wanted to make sense for us and my family. So our hours are 10 to 4, and not usually on the weekends, which probably is sometimes a bad idea. We're just trying to go with the flow and learn as we're going. So we just opened up in August. We realize in the holiday times it is smart to open on Saturdays, but other times there's not a lot of traffic down here. But we're always there anyways working because we're sewing all the time. So we thought, why not have a storefront and bring in some of our friends? But it is weird. Sometimes I'm thinking, oh, I'll just run to the bank really fast. But then I realize, wait, I have a store. I can't just do that anymore. So it has been a challenge. But we're just trying to, if we're not going to be open, we'll post on Facebook. And when we're open, we post on Facebook. So we're just trying to figure it out still. So we just, I don't know. I'm sure we're making mistakes, but we're also just trying to grow and learn every week with what we're doing, having a brick and mortar.
How many people do you employ, and if they're not family, what are the challenges with the HR side of the world?
So far, well, it's me and my husband. So my husband sews most of the napkins. And and usually my dad. So I do have family members that help, but I do pay them, though. So they're not free labor, except for my husband. I don't pay him. But and I've hired my mom. And we'll pull in other people when we need to. We're still trying to figure that out as well. So,
Jennifer, you mentioned that your cloth and the ordering of your cloth is the biggest issue for you with regard to having that inventory. Do you have that inventory? Is that made here locally in Georgia, or is that made in the U.S. or
the fabric?
Right, the fabric.
Most of the fabric is made overseas, but we deal with U.S. Distributors. So, but it is hard. We just had a restaurant contact us. They ordered 4,000 napkins, but we needed 700 yards of fabric to fulfill that. And the company only had 450, and they're not getting more fabric until January. So that's a little bit hard.
Hey.
Hey.
From your experience so far, just being a local business, specifically here in downtown Brunswick, what in your opinion, what were the moments that you've thought, man, I wish downtown Brunswick blank to help drive traffic to your store, or I wish we did this, or I wish this existed, or I wish this could happen, or what have been some of your dreams and hopes to go, what could really help downtown specifically?
I think we need a couple more shops, like the market or antique shops, or like our shop, something else to keep bringing people to want to come down here and shop and go to lunch or get a drink. It's a little bit sporadic right now. I know it's going to change and grow. I think that would help. And I wish all the businesses, most of them do, but would do Instagram and social and Facebook, because it really does help. And I try to tag other businesses, but not all of them do that. So I think that would be a big help.
I had a question, or a couple. First of all, do you have a sample of your napkins with you?
I don't. I meant to. I got really nervous this morning. I didn't prepare very well. I did bring business cards. There's a picture of them.
Gotcha. Okay.
And but you can come to our shop. We've got tons of napkins in there.
Okay. And second question is, I'm not sure whether you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and in what way have they been able to help you get started and grow your business?
I'm not a member of the Chamber of Commerce yet. So I was.
We can fix that.
Okay. We just wanted to get through this year right now. Right.
All right, is there a final question?
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. It's Dot and Army, all spelled out. Yeah, all one.
Let me, let me say something about what Jennifer said, and Lucas asked the perfect question. Everything she just said was streamed live to Facebook, to 1 Million Cups Brunswick. Everybody here can really help her business and the Gathering Place by simply going on there and sharing that live video. Usually we have 100 to 200 people that will look at it. The most we've had is, I think, about 900 when Dave was here talking about fishing. So if you would just share that gets her business out. It doesn't cost you anything. And it's just such an easy way to get her name out there.
Also, Facebook will reward you for being very active on Facebook. If you reshare and post and comment, they'll, like one time they sent me a $20 coupon to do an ad boost on them, which is wonderful, right? And same with Pinterest and Instagram and all that. The more you post and comment and share and reshare and repost, they see that you're active on it, and they'll bring you up higher up. So they'll they reward you by sending you little things, little coupons, or maybe sharing your picture again. So just can't hurt.
Awesome. So I don't have a question. It's more of a reflection. So Jennifer is actually one of these amazing connectors here in the Golden Isles. I knew of her work while I was living in New York, and so when I came down and learned that she was here in the Golden Isles, I just kind of got a little fangirl moment. But the work that I've seen her do, connecting all the makers, doing work, and really, again, doing that kind of boosting where it's like, it's not just about her napkins. It's about this pottery. It's about my preserves. It's about this woodwork. And so part of what I think is amazing and part of what I think is really great about downtown as well as the larger Golden Isles is that spirit of, rising tide lifts all boats. And Jennifer is someone who lives that every day. And I just want to say I'm grateful to have you here in this area. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
And let's take about a 10-minute break, and we'll then have our next presenter. And please, a gift.